Justice Ian Chang represented the Guyana Police Force, Glenn Hanneman represented the Commissioner of Police, Selwyn Peters represented Travis Chase, and Christopher Ram represented Imran Khan, who is the brother of the accused. They all touched on various issues during the submissions, as they asked the chairman of the commission, Paul Slow, to consider these in compiling his report.
On the evidence, the lad said he's a convert to Islam for years now. He's proud, and he's not ashamed to be a Muslim. And he subscribes to the Muslim tenet that there is no God but Allah. He's said that he's bringing up his young son in the Muslim faith. I have no basis to doubt it. But the holy book to Muslims is the Quran, not the Bible. Gilad twice took oath on the Bible and not the Quran. At the time he took the oath, it was the Quran and not the Bible which was binding on his conscience. What is binding on your conscience is the oath that you take. The Bible, according to Gilad's evidence, it was the Quran which was binding on his conscience, not the Bible. He deliberately elected to make an oath on a holy book which was not binding on his conscience.
The baseless opinions and ill-informed reports by David Ramnarine to the political directorate could evidently result in a perception that something was amiss in the investigations. It is yet to be determined whether those reports were actuated by malice and/or a burning desire to ingratiate himself and diminish others for his personal ambitions, or simply incompetence. It's clear that Mr. Silal Prasad and probably Mr. Blanham, that both of them had made serious allegations against Mr. David Ramnarine before, having to do with interference with the murder investigation, the issuance of gun licenses, and so on. The fact that the Commissioner of Police was on leave, and even though on leave still made those calls, may reflect more a lack of confidence in the person who was holding the chair.
Ian Chang and Glenn Hanneman given their submissions to validate the actions of the Guyana Police Force and Silal Prasad respectively. Up next was Attorney-at-Law Selwyn Peters, who has been representing the interests of Travis Chase.
His instructions to Narine was improper, and it also was done simply because of his relationship to Imran Khan. Even contacting Imran Khan. I mean, in other jurisdictions, quite frankly, a commissioner of police who is on leave and who knows somebody very well, and that's why we dealt with the issue of conflict of interest, perceived versus actual. Had he done that in any other jurisdiction, he would have been arrested for obstructing justice. He couldn't do that. But the fact that he made no notes in this matter, we say were calculated and deliberate on the part of Mr. Prasad. And we say that because he's a very trained investigator and a very experienced investigator. You've heard that he went to the FBI Academy. He's trained by the Scottish Police. So his omission to make contemporaneous notes of an important event cannot be dismissed as something that wasn't significant. It is very significant. And I put it to him, and it's true even today. It's a significant neglect of duty, where you have a serious allegation to assassinate the president of a country, and the Commissioner of Police made no notes.
Peters said the Commissioner of Police is not the only one who proved not to have been taking notes during the investigation, and that in itself speaks volumes and should be something that the Commission in its report should strongly consider.
Mr. Chase's testimony was not particularly credible. His story that he thought he had this big issue, this big matter, this threat to the life of the President of Guyana. He said he's this BBC trained reporter. He said that. And guess what he says about how he tests the story? He says, he did not question, and I thank his counsel for producing this information. He did not question the veracity of Mr. Gillard's story, because if you speak the truth all the time, you will have one story to tell, and he was telling me one story. Which kind of serious training would lead to this kind of trash?
The commission will provide its findings to President David Granger by the end of the month. Leroy Smith, Newsroom.